Hi, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Welcome to TCM. We're in the middle of a night of movies honoring actors and filmmakers who died in 2025. There is a category of actors, in my mind, mostly supporting actors, whose presence in a movie automatically makes the film better. The actor we're featuring next undoubtedly qualifies. Any movie with Joe Don Baker can't be entirely bad. Baker, who died in May of this year at 89, was a positive addition to any project, whether on the Broadway stage, on television, or in feature films. His career, which began at the Actors Studio in New York, spanned 50 years. Joe Don Baker was tall with a deep baritone voice, so he was a natural to play tough guys on screen. He was a convict in his film debut, Cool Hand Luke. He played a character based on Babe Ruth in The Natural and starred as a questionable chief of police in Fletch. "You can't keep me here," says Fletch, meaning the city jail. "Maybe I'm not going to keep you," says Joe Don Baker as Chief Carlin, pulling out his revolver. "Maybe I'm going to blow your brains out." "Well, I'm no lawyer, but I do believe that's a violation of my rights," says Chevy. Then the chief pulls out a switchblade in the other hand. "Ah, after I shoot you, click, I stick myself in the arm with this knife. Then I place the knife in your dead hand." Self-defense, we don't do it much anymore, but boy, back in the old days. Now, that was my Joe Don Baker impression from Fletch. But as I think about it, you know who did it better? Joe Don Baker. He was also a staple of the James Bond series, playing an arms dealer in The Living Daylights, then a CIA agent in two of the Pierce Brosnan films. He made nearly 50 big screen appearances, yet the first performance mentioned in most of his obituaries, deservedly so, is the one he gives in our next film. It's from 1973, Walking Tall. Joe Don Baker plays the real-life lawman Buford Pusser, who returns to his hometown in Tennessee to find it overrun by organized crime. He takes it upon himself to put a stop to it by walking tall and literally carrying a very big stick. This low-budget independent film really took Hollywood by storm. Expectations were limited until Hollywood saw that the small budget and Joe Don Baker's performance gave Walking Tall a sense of authenticity that connected with audiences and made the real-life Buford Pusser a folk hero, inspiring generations of future lawmen. All of that turned out to be ironic, given what one of those future lawmen recently uncovered about Sheriff Pusser. More on that after the film. From 1973 and from Bing Crosby Productions, also with Elizabeth Hartman and Leif Garrett, Joe Don Baker leads the way in Walking Tall. Okay, now for the rest of the story. Walking Tall was inspired by the life of a real Tennessee lawman, Sheriff Buford Pusser. And yes, Pusser's wife, Pauline, was killed in an ambush riding in a car with her husband, leaving him with a gunshot wound to the face. At least at the time of the attack in 1967, that's what we thought happened. Pusser claimed Pauline went with him on a late-night police call when men in a dark Cadillac pulled up alongside their car and started shooting. Well, decades later, another Southern lawman, Mike Elam, traveled to Tennessee to see where the ambush happened. Elam was a sheriff's deputy from Arkansas who says he was inspired to become a cop by watching Walking Tall. Examining the scene, Elam realized that Pusser's story didn't make sense. The deeper Elam looked into the case, the more holes he found, from photographs of blood splatter and shell casings to the lack of an autopsy on Pauline's body. Elam eventually came to believe that Pusser killed his wife and then shot himself to cover it up. Elam eventually convinced the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation to exhume Pauline's body for an autopsy. In August, the TBI released its official findings that, in all likelihood, Pusser murdered his wife. Buford Pusser died in 1974, so things won't go any further than that, but it's still an amazing twist to the mythology of Buford Pusser. If you'd like to know more about all of this, the podcast series Gone South did a two-part deep dive into the case. Coming up, we honor another actor we lost this year, Claude Jarman Jr., with the film that made him a child star. The Yearling is next on Turner Classic Movies.
Next on TCM, The Yearling, then The Entertainer, and later, Cool Hand Luke. Lalo Schifrin settles the score tonight.